Hey girls, Maria Menounos here, author of the Every Girl's Guide to Life. Want to know my best tips and secrets for organization, travel, weight loss, beauty, fashion, and everything else in between? Go to bing.com/Maria and pick up my new book, The Every Girl's Guide to Life.
You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, this is AFTERBUZZ TV for Justified. Tonight's host is Phil Svitek. Joining Phil will be AFTERBUZZ co-hosts John Comerford and Stuart Lill. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest Justified news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, picking up where the show leaves off and the buzz continues, Phil Svitek.
Well, welcome everybody, and thank you for joining us for Season 2 finale of Justified. And if you are recognizing that this is not Phil's voice, this is John Comerford hosting today's podcast for you. And for two quick announcements before we get into the season finale, which was a fabulous one. It was a great wrap-up. I had a lot of great things in it, and we'll talk about that in a second. First, we want to just remind everybody to pick up Maria Menounos' book, The Every Girl's Guide to Life. It's a great gift for your sister, your girlfriend, especially for grads going right now. It's a good thing to pick up for them. Terrific thing for them to have. Secondly, since Phil isn't hosting, as a strange twist of fate, those of you who have been listening to our podcast a couple weeks ago will know that Stuart's grandfather passed away, and that's why he hasn't been joining us for the last few times. So he's back east with family, and as a very sad, ironic twist of fate, Phil's grandfather passed away as well, so that's why he's not here. So we want to make sure that we acknowledge him and let him know that our thoughts and prayers are with him and his family, and hope they find peace in a very difficult time. But he wanted us to have the show continue, so that's why we're doing that. So Phil, our hearts go out to you. So in their stay, we have Tamera Berg joining us.
Hey, everybody.
And Ian Keiser.
How's it going?
There you go. Thank you very much. Now, Ian is a special guest because Ian has never even seen the show. We waylaid him into coming in to watch this for us, just to get an outsider's perspective and somebody who's never even seen the show and a finale to boot. So this will be interesting.
I was planning on just pretending to be Phil for the run of the show, but
nice.
I can't get the inflections down. So
then do a lot of soul searching and, and bring up a lot of very strange, obscure references, and that'll suffice for Phil.
Yeah.
So now, Tammy, on the other hand, is a fan, and she's been watching this season religiously, I should say.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
And overall, let's get just your overall impact, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty about scenes, and we'll break things down.
I just loved it. I thought it was outstanding season finale
Yeah.
and exciting. Lots of twists and turns. We don't know where it's going to go from here. But feels complete, and I'm definitely going to be pining away for Justified until it comes back. I don't know. Well, we're going to go back and watch season one, which I've never seen.
So we're going to have to go back and get
So
all
I'm going to
that.
have the good pleasure of seeing season one while we wait. But I just thought it was a great overall episode.
Yeah, you mentioned the whole thing, but you didn't know where it was going to go. That's the one great thing I've always enjoyed about it. I really can't figure out. Most shows I know ahead of time.
Yeah, you
where
especially.
everything's
You
going.
always figure them out.
And this one, either I don't know or I don't even try to figure it out because I'm just so involved in it. It rolls out so nicely that I'm just caught off guard and surprised and enjoying the whole thing. Now, Ian, you've never seen the show at all, so I know it's difficult for you to have the whole history of it, but your overall impressions?
Did you give him a little bit of background before?
I was
Good.
prepped.
Okay, great.
I was definitely
That's good.
prepped.
That's necessary.
But it did feel, it felt like it could stand alone in a way with the information you gave me. Like there was enough to understand, but it was an easy sell for me. I mean, because like Timothy Olyphant from Deadwood, I was a huge fan of, and Walter Goggins from The Shield, I was a huge fan of that show.
Forget it. And Margot, I'm telling you, it's just...
And she was incredible.
Yeah, just a terrific.
and like right when I get into it, and they kill her off.
And
Like,
I know. That's
come
that
on.
thing. Sorry
But see,
about
just
that.
like us, you can go back and watch the first season. You have actually a whole lot more episodes even to watch.
And she's a terrific actress, first of all, and the character is so well written that it's a joy to watch and listen to. So I do take advantage of that. So yeah, those are my impressions, and I thought it was just wonderful too, as always. So we're getting into it now in the nitty-gritty. We'll just start from the beginning. When Raylan meets up with Art, and he pushes his Glencoe. He wants to go retire to Shangri-La.
I'm gonna go to Glencoe.
Yeah, he wants out of
fantastic.
he wants out of the martial life, so to speak. He'd still be a
fed.
And a firearms instructor, but he wants to go to Glencoe.
That was one question I did with the relationship between he and Art.
Yeah.
Like, what did Art want from him during that time? Maybe there was a little.
Well, it was
background
strange. The one thing he
know.
didn't realize is that Art was aware of Raylan's mishandling of funds, so to speak. It all turned out fine, but Art is aware that he wasn't really on the up and up on something.
Yeah.
And so there's still a strained trust relationship between the two of them. And Raylan is not in the habit of actually taking orders and doing what he's supposed to do when he's told. Right. So Art kind of has a difficult time with him sometimes. So the fact that Raylan was asking for a promotion from Art, when Art knows, like, why should I? You haven't deserved one. You haven't earned one. All you do is,
You of all people.
Exactly. You do what you want when you want. You don't listen to me. So why would you deserve a promotion? So that's kind of what that was about.
And that makes sense with the Oliphant's character, Raylan, in this episode. I was like, oh, is he just going off book all of a sudden? Or does he never, it sounds like he never plays by the rules completely.
He plays by his own set of rules.
He treads the line.
He does. Yeah. I mean, the whole season is always about, okay, what's the right thing to do? And he has his own code that he lives by, and it's not always the same code as the marshal's office. Let's put it that way.
It's usually justified.
It's usually justified. But there's always this gray area. So, what is that? I mean, because let's face it, in this episode, he was going to leave Dicky to get killed by Boyd. Now, was that justified? Well, in his mind, obviously it was. Yeah. Until he realized he needed Dicky for something, and then he chose differently.
I assume that title translates for all the characters. They all feel justified.
Yeah, exactly. And then we as an audience get to decide, well, what is justified and what is just and right and all this. And then you get to make your own determinations about what's justified in your life, and would I do the same thing? And that's what I appreciate in it, because I'm always going, God, what would I do? Oh man, yeah, because I don't.
Well, and that even came up a little bit in conversation between Winona. I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but just to kind of bring things around, it came up in the conversation between Winona and Raylan when he said, he's talking about Loretta, and she says, "How do you know Loretta's going to do that?" And he says, "Well, because that's what I would have done when I was her age." So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So after we have the little Raylan Art tete-a-tete, we get the meeting with the Bennetts, and they find out that Boyd wants to parlay, which I didn't even know. Is that a real thing? Did they just steal that from the Pirates of the Caribbean, or has that always been a thing? I didn't know that.
I do not know.
So anyway, we're gonna have a parlay. All right, and I love that Mags is she's calling Dicky out for, you started this in the first place. Yeah. Of course I'm gonna listen to the man. Everybody makes mistakes. You did yourself. So I love it when she always calls her sons on how stupid they've been or what they've done wrong.
She's such an unlikely mob boss, for lack of a better term. She's just.
But they did such a good job with her character, because on some, she took a ball-peen hammer to her brother, to her son, and in the next moment she's so caring of Loretta. Exactly, it's like, wow. I mean, it's very strange how, and they've maintained her compassion and her inhumanity in the same episode sometimes.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
She's clearly conflicted an awful lot.
And then, so they have that, and we know that they're going to parlay. But before they do that, we find out that Boyd has a secret meeting with the cop on a bridge. Now, I didn't recognize this cop until later, and then I realized, that's one of Doyle's right-hand
minions.
Yeah, so is everybody in that police station corrupt?
Goodness gracious, they must be.
My God. Is there anybody who's on the up and up?
That's Harlan County,
exactly,
baby.
It's Harlan County. So he's ready to give up Doyle because, and it's according to Boyd, according to him, he's not doing it for the money, but according to Boyd, he's doing it because he wants to take over Doyle's job.
He wants the promotion.
So, which I didn't see happening, but by the end of the show, we can see why they're setting that up, which we'll get to later. So sure enough, everybody's corrupt, or at least it appears as if everybody's corrupt in the Harlan County Police Department. So we'll see how that pans out later. And right after that, we get to see Loretta again, and we set the course for Loretta because she's the one that really puts a lot of this into action. If it wasn't for Loretta leaving her foster family, deciding to come back home and find out what really happened, or confront Mags about what happened to her father, this episode would not have happened, nor would any of this have gone down, because it's because of that sets all this into motion.
She is the catalyst of a whole lot.
That's right. This little 14-year-old girl.
Yep.
Yeah, she's headstrong, determined. Yeah.
Always has been from the minute we met her.
Exactly. So they've been really consistent on that, which is great.
Yep.
And there we go. If not for that, this episode doesn't happen. So we like that happening.
The power of one.
Exactly. And then right after that, just to make matters worse, what do we find when we go to Raylan and the Winona in the hotel room? We find out what? In a very haphazard kind of off-the-cuff kind of way.
I just wanted to mention just one little thing, honey.
Hey, so I'm pregnant, so are we going to Glencoe or not?
Well, and when you and I watched this episode together, the very first thing we said was, "Oh no,
Exactly.
Winona's gonna die!"
Exactly. That's the first thing. As soon as she said she was pregnant, I'm going, "Oh my God, they're gonna kill Winona."
Because no character is safe on this show,
Nobody
which I think
is.
is fascinating.
Yeah, they've killed off so many people. I mean, Raylan's aunt. I mean, people get Coover. I mean, they kill people left and right on this show.
Oh
so you
no,
never know.
Winona's
They're gonna have to bring in a new crop next
They
season.
do, exactly.
That's what, yeah.
But look at the
Refresh
actors
it.
that get to be in this. Man, they have such a great crop of actors. Really well tested and terrific. So yeah, did you see that? By the way, did you have any idea that she was going to be pregnant,
No.
or did they think they were going to do that? And
That was a complete shocker to me. Because they keep bringing her in with lots of conflict and the money thing,
Yeah, exactly.
and she was really kind of in a dire situation there for a while.
Yeah.
But I definitely didn't see this
and
coming.
and that's like, oh, now what? Damn. Now does it change Raylan now? Because we've been last few episodes, Phil and I have been talking about how they're going to bring Loretta, and is Raylan going to act as a father for Loretta because she no longer has parents, and we knew the foster situation wasn't right. So we've been thinking that that's what they've been gearing the works for. And now, and even thought that was going to happen more, because right after I saw the Loretta scene, I'm thinking, oh, she's going back to Harlan. Raylan's obviously going to have to save her.
She's the only person he's the only person she trusts.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. And now, boom. But he might be a father of his own. So this is interesting how this is
Loretta
going to
might be a
pan
fantastic babysitter.
Exactly. Okay, good point. Way to incorporate those things. That's very nice, Tamera. But now, just judging from that scene when she first lets out that she's pregnant, I could not tell whether or not that was a good thing or a bad thing to Raylan.
Either one of them felt about
exactly.
it.
And I was just wondering, did you glean anything from his look?
No, yeah, I really don't know how to and is it going to motivate them for Glencoe? I don't know what.
That was great. He kind of withheld that a little bit, and then he says, "That's the best news."
Yeah.
And she says, "Ever." Because that's the word I was looking. And I'm still not sure how happy he is about it. I mean, he seems happy, but and I think.
And I don't know if that my first I don't know if this is just where my mind goes, but it is his, right? Because you said that they were separated. Okay.
I'm guessing it is.
Well,
I don't think she would lie about something like that.
Actually, that's a good question, because couldn't it be her
former husband, her current husband,
her current husband?
She's divorcing right now. It could be, but
I suppose. But
they never let on that they ever have slept together in the past few months. I mean, it's always she's been with Raylan
all the time. Yeah, but you never know.
You never know.
One
but
drunk
I don't.
night.
I don't buy it yet. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, and I couldn't see her lying to Raylan about it.
I don't either. Yeah, although we couldn't see her stealing money, and
That's
she did
true.
that. So who knows?
That's true, John.
That's true. Thank you. Then we have our big parlay meeting, which I thought was a great. I love it when they get these. My favorite part is the pastor is patting them down. It happens in a church.
I need to collect your weapons.
And I'm going, really? Does this stuff happen in Harlan County?
I think it does.
Oh my God!
I loved this, but see, this is what I love most about the show is it's a world that I have never been in, and I just love everything about it. I love the music. The music is so amazing. And all these characters are people I've never met before and never seen before, and their own particular method of community, of what the law is. At one point, somebody says there ain't enough money in the world to cross the Bennett family, and I was like, okay. So
have you
that
guys
really
seen Winter's
clarified.
Bone?
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh, you did? Okay.
yeah.
I enjoyed it so much. And I thought this was
very
a similar
that's
world,
very
so it was
similar.
so fun going like back in.
which is why I think that's why we first actually tuned into.
I think so too.
Because of Winter's
I think
Bone.
we were talking
wow.
about it, and somebody had said, "Oh, you should be watching Justified." So
It really goes off from there. I mean, I think it really fleshes out all these characters and all that kind of stuff.
So yeah, and then there's just sort of a story surprise every time you turn the corner. So we're gonna have a big meeting. Where are we gonna do it? At the place where you go to meet.
And a pastor's
going
to pat you down.
And the pastor's gonna
okay, I'll hold all the guns till then doors will be locked till
and then I'll
parlay's
leave.
over.
And I wasn't clear with the meeting. Dicky was ordered to do that because I didn't get that from when he was talking with his mom, or was that him going off and then
Dicky was ordered to do.
To go have the assault on
I'm guessing that what
Boyd's.
they decided to do was, Mag says she made a mistake in not knowing the measure of the man, meaning she underestimated Boyd, and I think that they had decided let's take him out, or let's take out his legs, so to speak, so that he has nothing to fight for. Because she says to him in the meeting, she says, "Look, I think our little deal that we agreed upon, which is just everything but weed, would be happy for a time, but sooner or later you're going to want more." That's when you realize, okay, the real measure that she's realizing is he's not going to be satisfied with just a little. He'll want it all,
right?
And he'll want to take it. So in order to stop that from happening, I have to act first. That's what I got from that, is that she underestimated him, and then when she really figured out who he was, she went, okay, he's not going to be satisfied, so we got to take him before he takes us. Yep. And so while they have the meeting, very classic Mario Puzo, Sicilian kind of Godfather stuff. We'll have this meeting in a church, and while it's happening, let's go kill the heads of the 5 families. Something like that. Yes. Which was very nice. And that's what they attempt to do. But again, they underestimate him because he's ready for it. And they're not. And so their plans go awry. Johnny, of course, he's the guy in the wheelchair. He's expecting them to show up, and what does he blows up his entire house. Just he's like, okay, screw you. Think you're gonna come after me? I don't think so. I'd rather have my house blow up on you. What's that? Couldn't you figure that? Couldn't you just blow up the truck outside your house?
Exactly.
I mean, really, what's the thinking on that? I mean, landmine, something? I mean, you have access to all those explosives.
No, we do.
Hand grenade, nothing? Grenade launcher, anything?
We do it big in Harlan County.
But it sure made for a good TV.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a great shot.
Yeah.
It's like, oh. And, nice reveal because he's, in the barn.
In the barn, watching and
what
pushing
does
the
he do?
button.
Yeah, and just smoking his cigar or cigarette or whatever it was when he gets done. It was nice. No words need to be spoken. By the way, I love the actors they picked for that. Do you see the guys that were coming in? The beard with the rubber band on the beard. That's like, what
nice.
Little attention to detail there. It's
Nice.
like, nasty guy. That was great. I liked that.
Okay, what about the detonator? It was just like an 80s.
Yeah,
Looked
exactly.
like a big
Right.
Remote control.
For
It was
a car.
great. Yeah,
Radio
just thrown
car.
together. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's all we need. They probably made it a
Radio
Radio
Shack
Shack.
parts,
Exactly.
exactly,
Yeah.
And he may have intended to only blow up the pickup, and it just happened that it blew up the house. You never know. They're not so precise on explosives.
He
Yeah,
left the
maybe
bombs
not.
while he was eating his Cheerios. He left
Yeah.
it out in the
Yeah.
kitchen. Whoops.
Yeah, but I like in Parlay when we get that nice moment between Mags and Boyd, and she's saying, "Look, you want to talk about business? What's business, but contracts and agreements?" And you went back on yours.
Yeah.
And you can see Boyd. I mean, you live by your word there. And even though you're thieves and killers and stuff like that, you live by your word, and you went back on your word. And Boyd knows. He goes, "There's nothing he can say."
You got me.
And he knew ahead of time that he was going to have to fess up and make it right. And that's why he brought the bag of money, the suitcase of money, every last cent.
Actually, and that line in particular, I love just because it shows how savvy she is, and like how she gets it, and even like with all these. They say idiots drinking moonshine with big gun. Like she's running an organization.
Exactly,
it's a big business.
Exactly.
She's in charge. That was great. I thought.
Hey, I know, and it just belies. I mean, because look at the way she's dressed, the way she acts, and boom, and then you get these moments with her. You just go, "Damn, who's writing this stuff?" It's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice. So yeah, I like that. I like the parlay a lot. I like those I love those meetings they have with each other because you really get to know those characters when they start talking and interacting with each other and how they have those little moments. Those are terrific.
Yeah.
So what do we? Oh, he gives back all the money, and that's when we go back to Ava's house, and she comes up from the cellar.
Which, hello, stupid move right
What
there.
do I say? Jesse? What do I always say about dames?
Chicks, skirts, gams.
Why dames is what?
Trouble.
Dames is trouble.
Dames is trouble.
Dames
Always.
is trouble.
Always.
That's right. So Ava comes up from the cellar.
And you
Shouldn't do
just
it.
know there's trouble right there.
As soon as she comes up the cellar, I go, oh, okay.
Geez.
She's going to get shot. You just know it. And what happens there? Of course, she's just fixing coffee, and that's when Dicky and his boys come out blazing, and the gunfight happens. Now, I did not expect Dicky to just walk in.
To just walk in and shoot Ava?
Yeah, I didn't expect that at all.
Hey there, Ava.
Exactly. But I don't know why I didn't. I shouldn't have expected it, because that's exactly what he did to Helen.
Of course. Right.
But I just didn't expect him to be there.
That is exactly what he did to Helen. That's right.
Yeah.
Just exactly the same way.
Yeah. Just and then I remember.
Was
you
he
asked
looking
me.
to kill her also?
I don't think so. I mean, because
Looking for
it seems like people just shoot people in this town all the time. Just
Well,
like
yeah.
leg wounds
Yeah,
and arm
exactly.
wounds. They
There's
just like to you
There's
know.
a lot of gun
name 'em
toting
a little.
and
Yeah.
shooting. Yeah, out in Harlan County. And that's another thing I'm always curious about. Does everybody? Because even what is it later on in the show? Doyle says, well, I
Everybody's
should
got a
say,
gun.
Raylan says she's got a gun. Doesn't everybody?
Yeah.
Exactly. So, and I'm going, does everybody? I mean, but do you have to have a gun to go visit there? I mean, is it a prerequisite? I don't know. So, but what was I talking about?
Did they come to shoot?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Did he mean to kill her? Because you're that close. And if you really meant to kill her, because he knows how to kill people. Usually, when they've shown him kill people, there's one shot that puts him on the ground, then he puts another one in their head.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't.
Which
think
makes
he
me
meant
think
to
it's
kill her.
more about power and different things more than it is just winning, because it
Yeah.
seems like he could have shot her.
Yeah,
finished them
or
out.
is it because
for-
she's and it can't. I don't know that it can be about her being a woman, and he has any concerns about her being a woman because he killed Helen.
Yeah.
Now, granted, Helen had a gun, but so did Ava. So I'm just going, well, I don't know why. The only thing I can take away from that is I don't think he wanted to kill her. I think he wanted to wound her because he really wanted to get to Boyd.
Right.
Yes. Yes, I think that's the case as well.
But
Or
if that's the case, why did they send 3, 4, 5 gunmen? Obviously, they wanted to get all Boyd's
People.
henchmen, but they knew they were going to Ava's. They probably knew she was going to be there. It's just a very, I don't know.
And I did say to you, when the way that he said her name, it seemed like there was something,
History.
some kind of history between them.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. That's a great question. I don't know the answer. I don't really know how that's going to play out, but I'm thinking either they really want that actress back because they want the Boyd love interest to continue, hopefully. That's my only guess. Or maybe they only have a certain amount of people they can kill per episode and they'd already reached their quota.
That could be.
I don't know.
That could be the case. Maybe she'll die from her wounds.
Yeah, I know. Or maybe they'll
season.
drag that out. Who knows? It'll be interesting. But everybody has a wound. Dicky has a wound. So who knows? We'll have to find that out in the next season. So, what else we got here? Probably. And then right in the middle of the parlay, we find out the shootout didn't occur, or I'm sorry, didn't go the way it was supposed to. Exactly.
Right.
So, and that's when. It's almost as if Boyd's waiting for that phone call.
Yep.
You can just wait. He's just like biding his time until that phone call happens. Well, I guess that sounds like bad news.
That's bad news.
And then, so just when she thought she had the measure of the man, he proves he can't underestimate me either.
Just
so, and then he doesn't even take the money. He leaves the money because he knows he has to make good on his word.
Right.
But what he's basically saying is, I'll get that money back in time. Yeah, he's just telling me, it'll just be a matter of time.
Yeah. This ain't over,
Yeah,
Mags.
exactly. I just love that. It's like, wow, okay. He's got such chutzpah about that. That's nice. I really like that. Did you see that coming?
Which part? Him?
Just that he'd just walk away without the money and it's basically saying,
I don't know that I saw
your
it
days
coming,
are numbered in a
but
sense.
it made perfect sense to me
yeah.
because of everything you just said. He did have to sort of even the score,
right?
By giving back the money to her.
Yeah.
But now we're starting over.
Yeah, he's like, now we're at square one,
Now
we're
we're at
even
square
and
one,
stuff like that. You can't hold that against me because I made right by that or something like that. But now that you have that back, all bets are off. And guess what? I'm coming after the Bennetts, and I'll be ready for him as he always is. So, and then right after we find that Loretta is gone. She's in fact gone. So she's taken off.
And so is the gun.
That's right. And Harlan gets called, and he comes over. I'm sorry, I beg your pardon. Raylan gets called, and he meets up with the foster parents and has that nice moment, like, stop, don't talk to me.
Yeah.
Because you keep lying, there's going to be a bridge between us. Yeah, river between us, no bridge to cross. It's like,
I love those moments.
It's a
love
great
those
line.
moments.
Yeah, and the guy instantly goes, okay. Those are great lines, man. Okay.
Oh, you got me.
And then he gives him his whole life story and stuff. And he's telling him how you got kids around and protect. And all that's being said, and what does Raylan go? You got a gun.
Yeah.
Just so he knows, everybody has a gun. Again, everybody's got a gun.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right.
It's the way of the world.
But now it's missing, and we know Loretta's got it. And that's when we get to meet Wade.
Well, and just real quickly, back to the, I got kids, you got to protect them.
Exactly.
And you know that there's just one little part in Raylan's mind going through, oh, right, kids.
Kids.
I'm going to have one of those
I'm gonna have
in a
one of
few
those,
months.
Yeah. And I'm trying to get out of this life. That's what I thought this whole particular episode, not the whole arc, but the whole episode, not the season, but because the whole thing about the kids and don't want them in this life, and later on Mag's just talking
says it to
about
Loretta.
we made our choices and Loretta could go that way.
But I wanted to give you a better life.
Exactly, and then you hear, and then in the back of his head, he's thinking, oh my God, my kid could be part of this,
right?
Because he comes from he's a product of his father, who was a thief and a murderer and all that kind of stuff, and luckily he got out by the thanks of his aunt. But this is where all those kids are heading.
Mm-hmm.
And then Raylan's told not to go, to let the authorities handle it.
Right, exactly.
He is the authority, isn't he? He's
but
the biggest authority.
Well,
he's a marshal.
Yeah, but according to Winona, she wants him out, because look, and she's fighting like crazy to get him to stop. This is the reason why they couldn't be married the first time, and now they're finally getting a shot at Glencoe. And she's like, "Geez, dude, it's not your problem anymore."
Right? What did she call it? She said, "It's not your problem. It's not your problem." Is that what she kept saying?
Yeah,
it's not your problem. It's not your problem. It's not your problem.
Because and she's thinking, this is, the child inside me is your concern now, not everybody outside. And of course, the reason why she fell in love with the guy is probably because he has this amazing sense of justice and righteous sensibility.
Mm-hmm.
But she wants it contained. She wants it only for her.
How it fits in her world.
Exactly.
Well, and she clearly didn't, grow up in this same environment.
No, I'm guessing she didn't.
So
Not
she
with all
doesn't
the
have
bullets
she doesn't have the same perspective as
and
he does, obviously.
And if he were to not go and let Loretta deal with the situation
on her
first
own.
of all, on her own, because he promised her, look, if you never do anything, you call me.
That's right.
So she's in trouble. So he, in his own sense, he's got this obligation to fulfill. And if he doesn't, what does that mean? That will make him less of a man.
Well, plus, it's just going to be a big bloodbath to clean up.
Yeah.
He knows he's going to have to clean up for whatever Loretta does.
Right, exactly. But and he wants to save her.
He's avoiding inconvenience.
He's avoiding inconvenience.
Exactly.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, he's cutting that out. But I'm sure he's also thinking that I don't want her in this life. I'm trying to save her from this life, and by saving her, maybe I can save my own child. All that kind of stuff going in there too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you don't think so?
No, yes. I just don't know that it's that.
No, I don't think he's
that much in
conscious
the forefront
of
of
that.
his
No, I don't think
mind.
he's conscious of that. I think at the moment he's just trying to save her.
Yeah.
So, but I just love that they always have this conflict. Don't do it. Come on. But I mean, that's one of the reasons why you love the guy is because he's willing to go out there and do that.
That's right.
You just wish he would stop.
If you're Winona.
If you're Winona, I mean, exactly. So,
yeah.
So where are we at? So we find out. So then we get to meet Wade. Wade at the gas station. Now we've never met Wade before. We find out Wade was a friend of Loretta's father, and he held Loretta's father in some regard.
I loved his lines and his delivery.
Yeah,
because that's one of the things about the characters there that I find so fascinating. They're hillbillies.
Yeah.
And yet they have certain colloquialisms that they use, and the method of which through which they speak that is extremely formal at times.
Yeah.
And his speech was really formal there.
Yeah.
I did hold your father in some regard, and therefore whatever it was he said, I can't remember, but I just love that. It was great.
Yeah, it was nice. But and then he was just such a. I mean, he's dirty. He's dry. He's not shaving. It's just But
I think that's the actor James LaGrosse.
He's so familiar to me, but I can't figure out from
he's
where.
been in a ton of things. He's terrific. He was great. I loved him in that. And that's when we find out we definitely do get to see the gun.
Loretta's got a gun.
Yeah, Loretta's got a gun. And we know that she's on her way to Harlan because she wants to find out. I mean, we knew that, but here's where we finally get to Loretta finally says what's up.
Yeah.
And we finally learned that even Wade says no, I'm not going to, which is what Ian said earlier. I'm not gonna go against the Bennetts.
Yeah, not enough money in the world.
You crazy?
That's it.
You know what's gonna happen if you start asking questions, and basically setting up that she might get hurt. So
Because everyone has a gun.
Everyone has a gun. So where are we after that?
The Ava, the doctor checking on Ava,
that's
the
right.
doctor.
The doctor. Yes, I love how Boyd just right after. Who are you? What are you?
You in medical school?
They hear he's coming to help. It's just, what do you care?
Yeah, exactly. What if he's a vet?
Exactly.
Take it, whatever you can get.
And I love what he says, though. He goes, I work at a clinic. And he goes,
Why are you doing this?
Because the clinic's going to need a lot of money, and you're going to give it to us.
Yeah, everyone's very calculated in that town.
You got the angle. Exactly.
Well, and you darn sure better.
Yeah. It's not because there's a woman who's shot.
No, hell no.
It needs medical
Screw
attention.
the Hippocratic oath. Screw that.
Yeah, that's right.
I want some money.
That's right. Show me the money.
That's it.
So, oh my God, that was great. And then he says, "No, you help her like your life depended on it, because indeed,
surely it is."
I'm going, that's what you want to say to the guy. I mean, I understand you want to, let him know what's at stake, but he might have to operate. You don't really want the guy scared, do you?
And we never go back to that,
No.
right? I mean, we never find out what happened. Well, see, that's
No,
the
that's
thing.
part of the
She might
thing.
die from her
That's
wounds.
right. She might die from her wounds.
We'll
and
find
we
out
just
how the
don't
contract
know.
negotiations go.
Yeah. So
Yes,
then
indeed.
let's see. After that, we go. Where are we going after that?
Is that Winona talking to Art? To tell Winona
that's
talking to Art and saying,
Yeah, at some point. Yeah, after Winona and Raylan have their thing about how he's got to go help her, then Winona goes to Art and says, "Hey, you got to help.
You got to help him.
He's going back to Harlan. He's
And
just had a
that's
funeral.
Saved
crazy.
his life. I mean,
Yeah.
I get it.
And
Thank
so
God she did.
Yeah, and of course, Art says, "Well, sometimes people can't be helped." And you're going, "What? He's going into Harlan County? What? Alone? Nothing? You're not sending anybody?" Which was a good misdirect. I mean, I really bought that Art had
Nothing. Wasn't going to do it.
No, he wasn't going to help because of that first scene.
I did too.
And we knew the history of it. Now, you didn't see the history of it, but from that first scene, you would take away that, he's not going to help.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, why? Look, he's a big boy. He knows where he's going, and he knows that.
I thought he was going to die when he was strung up by the,
Yeah. So,
Dicky was beating him up.
Speaking of Dicky beating him up, I love. Just before we get there, we see Raylan meet Wade, and they're so polite. I love how polite they are.
Yes.
Wade Jennings, whatever his name was, Wade Jennings, whatever.
How you been?
How you been? It's Raylan Gibbs. Raylan, how you been?
How you
It's like
been?
old buddies,
Really? What you doing now?
Exactly. They have this nice little thing, and
That's-
in
that's
between all that nice
fantastic.
politeness, I'm gonna need to search you, pat you down for guns, and then talk to you a little bit.
I'm gonna need you to put down that hammer.
He's like, "Oh, absolutely, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Do you mind if we take your car?
Yeah, exactly. They're so nice and polite about everything, and then boom, he gets biffed in the head. So they must have seen him coming. Obviously, they had to set all that up. But I just love the way that Wade was real polite about everything, and that's just the Southern hospitality.
It's
I
great.
guess.
It's
That's nice.
great. Yeah.
So the next thing we see is a horse strung up.
Great shot.
Great shot of a
What?
horse or a donkey, whatever the heck it was.
Random and scary.
Yeah,
and
it was a nice, just a little
ominous
bit
and
of it. It's like,
menacing.
okay, little foreshadow of what might come. I mean, I thought, oh damn, is that thing? Please don't. I don't want to see anything get strung up and skinned. I thought they were gonna skin something.
eviscerated.
Exactly. And then you see Raylan strung up by his foot, by his boot, I guess.
If I ever get strung up and someone's beating me with a bat, I really hope to handle it as well as
Yeah.
Raylan. Just like throwing out witty lines and like, no problem. He
But
knows he's gonna get out of it somehow.
But
You know.
here's the thing. You know what was nice is, I mean, they did a good job of making it look like he actually
It
really got hit, and then he
hurt.
wasn't hurting him and stuff like that. Yeah, I had a few lines, and I love it. That was a great scene. I thought
That
Dicky was
was.
great in that.
Yeah.
He's like, "I gotta warm up." Your coach ever tell you to warm up? I mean, and they're just talking about all kinds of things.
Well, and I really liked his monologue about how many steps a guy
Yeah,
takes in
exactly.
a day, and that's how
'Cause
I'm
that's
going
what-
to mete out my punishment to you.
Because that's what I've been doing
Mm-hmm.
every day for however many years that you put my leg out like this, which was nice. And I didn't know where he was going with that at first, and then it's like, oh, okay.
Oh,
Ooh,
right.
yeah, this is not going to be fun.
But then Raylan comes back with the witty line.
Yeah, I can't remember the witty line at the moment.
Wait, go back to the part where you read.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wish I was that clever.
Right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
especially when I was
Pressure,
being beaten
right?
upside down and beaten with a bat.
Yeah, it's
by a
nice
guy who
when
wants
you
to
have
kill
a
you.
crew of writers writing for
That
you. That would, we should all be lucky enough to have that in our lives. So, hey, look, I'm going to have a meeting with a big executive. So, can you write out a script for me so I can have it ready to
You just
say?
need them for all the different scenarios
Exactly.
that you could encounter in life.
And then you can
know,
work them out. Yeah, that'd be
And then
nice,
help me memorize them.
Yeah, have them in your back pocket. Wait, hang on a sec. I've got this one.
The perfect line. Yeah.
Exactly. Of course, then I always remember the lines, about 30 seconds after the event.
Yeah.
So it's like, damn. I
Oh,
could've
that's
said
quick.
that.
30 seconds. I'm 30 minutes.
Oh, man, I wish I had said that. So let's do it again. Run that back. Okay, go back to the part where
Yeah.
we never get that chance.
No, we
But thankfully,
don't.
Raylan has his team of writers, and then we don't have to worry about that. So he gets to say his witty lines as he's getting the crap kicked out of him. And just when we think he's going to get his third swing at him, Boyd. Now, I don't know how many times I've seen Boyd actually save Raylan from either death or dismemberment or something.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
This is
They
at
have
least
quite
the
a
third
history.
time that I've seen. There might have been more. And sure enough, and it's almost always that way. Raylan's getting the crap kicked out of his gun about to be pulled or something, and Boyd shows up.
Boyd, the white supremacist.
The white supremacist, yes. It's like, exactly. So with his, we're always going on about his hair. I just love that hair.
That
man.
hair is
Whacked
great
out,
hair.
electrified hair, man. Look, just love that. So yeah, he comes out, and of course he's mad because he let Raylan have Dicky last episode, and he thought, Raylan had intimated that he was actually going to off
Take
him.
care of it.
Yeah, take care of it. And then at the last minute, Raylan couldn't do it because it went against
His moral code.
His moral code, which is why, when they had that little moment, he goes, I thought you were supposed to take care of this. And Raylan says, well, it's complicated. And Boyd says, no, it ain't. Because in Boyd's mind,
It's just
it's black or
not-
white.
I actually, from the little of the show that I've seen, I found it very hard to believe that Boyd would let Dicky go in that situation.
Yeah, that he'd let Raylan take him.
It seemed like like there was nothing that could stop him from killing after the way that he reacted to his girlfriend getting shot and everything. I thought he was dead.
Yeah. And I would agree with you there, except for the only thing that made it work for me is because, Raylan gets cut down and he tells Dicky, look, I didn't shoot the bullet, meaning last week I didn't kill you, but I'm not gonna lose any sleep knowing that he will.
Mm-hmm.
And then he turns to Boyd and he says, I'm going to need my gun. Where I'm going, I'm going to need my gun. So he picks up his gun. He has his gun in his hand. Now, I know that, or at least it's been shown, that Raylan's the better shot and the quicker draw. And I think Boyd knows that. So they're faced out. I mean, if you look the way the shot is, Boyd's just in the background. I mean, it's almost like they do in the Westerns with the shootout's going to happen. And he says, are you asking or are you telling? And Raylan has this nice line, well, if it makes you feel better, you can tell people I was asking.
Yeah.
And in that moment, I gone, okay, he knows it. He might.
He's got the upper hand.
He's got the upper hand.
Just
He's
by
probably
this
faster
much.
on him. And the other thing that Boyd realizes is, I'm in a marathon. I'm not a sprint. If I don't get Dicky now, I will get him later. So I think Dicky knows that. And why go up against Raylan right now when I don't need to?
Yes.
That makes sense.
So that's why I gave him that. But it was a little bit. I had the same feeling that you did in the beginning. It's like, what? Are you kidding me? Why hasn't he shot him already?
Right.
Because he's such a hothead, and they made him look like he's ready to kill. He's ready to kill the doctor. He's ready to kill his boy who let her up out of the cellar. But that's why I bought it. So I don't know if that works for anybody else, but that's what worked for me. So okay, so he's beat up now, and he's now. Where does he go? The first thing he does is, I'm gonna take Dicky. And just before we see where he's gonna take Dicky, we find that Loretta shows up at Mag's house. And, of course, all the guys there with all their guns. I just love that shot of this little 14-year-old girl, and there's like 4 or 5 guys with semi-automatics saying, now you just go back on down the hill, little girl. And she's going, no.
I'm here to see Mags. I'm pretty sure she won't see me, too.
I mean, this girl's determined. She's facing down these guys. Would you imagine, you at 14,
Yeah, I would have been that stupid at 14.
Yeah.
Me
but
now as a man, I'd hightail it backwards.
Exactly.
On a
Guys,
14-year-old
See, that's the
girl.
thing. It's the inexperience of 14.
you think they,
Yeah.
the
Even though
inexperience.
she's clearly very worldly about these sort of things, it's that gravitas of being a 14-year-old and you're invincible and you're just going to do what you're going to do, damn it,
Yeah.
and it's
And,
going to
yeah.
happen my way because I'm the
And
god
there
of
might
my
be a little
world.
bit, I got nothing left to live for anyway, so. Because
Yeah.
she doesn't have parents anymore, and
Yeah.
she doesn't want to be in the foster world, so.
I could see that for sure.
So that may be something there. So, and of course, Doyle sees her, so he tells her to let him. He tells the flunkies or
Let her pass.
Let her
The
pass.
rodeo clowns.
Exactly, the rodeo class. So sure enough, she comes on in, and then they get to have the night. Oh, that nice moment. And that's where I was talking about. Okay, now Mag sees her, and you could just see.
Well, her whole face, it was
It just
just like,
changed.
and she puts her hand to
To
her
her
heart,
heart, yeah.
and she's just like half heartbroken, but so
Yeah.
heartened that Loretta has come
Yeah,
back.
exactly.
And oh my gosh, it's
Now you don't really know their relationship because Ian, I'm talking to, you hadn't seen them. So just that moment when she sees her and you saw Meg's reaction to it, what would you glean from that?
Oh, I in my head when I pieced together that the three sons are terrible, and she's shaped them into monsters, and she finds this girl that legitimately there is a chance to go straight, and like I don't know, it's like a different.
It's a whole different
channel
energy,
for it.
exactly, and a whole different
energy,
innocence that's there. And here's something that might actually go right.
she's hanging her hopes on Loretta.
And you know what? And again, I keep going back to this because the analogies and the comparisons are just too easy. But the Godfather, I mean, he had the Don Corleone had such high hopes for Michael.
Well, I was gonna say, and ultimately that's Mag's in her head. That's it, but she would have shaped her into Mags Jr. She would have been a monster.
Exactly,
No,
because we are who we are.
Yeah.
I think so. But she just had so hoped, because I just lit up like a firecracker. So that was nice. So she gets lit in, and she starts. You start getting the feeling right away that
it's definitely something ominous going to happen.
And she says, so would you like something to drink? And no, I'm not here for refreshment. That's what Loretta says. It's like a 14-year-old says, I'm not here for refreshment. And then at that point, you see Mags' face, and she realizes,
oh, crap.
Damn, she knows. You hear about your daddy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then, of course, the gun comes out. So, uh-oh. And just as the gun comes out, who pulls up?
Raylan and Dicky.
Raylan and Dicky. I love this one. So he goes, he says, Doyle, I need you to step aside. I need your boys to put down your guns. Why? Because I don't think you want your brother's brains come flying out of his head. Okay, usually they have
point.
a little bit more aplomb
Finesse.
to their dialogue. No, this is just
And I did wonder too. I don't know the brothers' relationship well enough to know, but did he? I was like, does he care if his brother's brains get spilled out? Like, I think he's more interested in taking Raylan out.
Yeah, he's ambivalent.
I think he's
that's a good way of
absolutely
discussing it. Yeah, absolutely ambivalent. That's a great
on
way.
one hand,
Yeah, let me weigh those options. I'm not sure. Let me get back to you. Yeah, so that was great. And, of course, Dicky's just so worth getting shot. I mean, he's such a horrible pain in the ass.
Yes, he
is. And, played very well.
Yeah, Jeremy Davis. I didn't
Davis,
even recognize. He
you
does
didn't
great in that role.
recognize him.
He loses himself.
Yeah, really, really done well. And cut back inside, and that's when we get Megs is trying to get Loretta to put down.
And you guys
the gun.
had seen this already, but when those gunshots went off, you guys gasped like it was happening the first time.
Exactly,
like that
exactly.
was I was totally taken aback.
I know
when
you
that
weren't ready
went
for that
off.
at all.
Not at all.
Sure, because Loretta, Megs is trying to get her to drop the gun and say, did the whole thing about, look, I've had a gun in my hands and it's really heavy.
It gets so
and
heavy.
And Loretta finds out and shoots her in the leg.
It's gonna be a relief. Bam.
Yeah, shoots her in the leg. As soon as that gunshot goes out, everybody shoots everybody.
Just mayhem.
And I don't know if you noticed it, but in the wide shot, you're down low and we're behind the car where Raylan's in, and the guys who have the guns in the foreground.
Yes.
Actual blood hits the glass of the lens of the camera, and it's like whoa! Just a couple drops, and I'm going, damn, what the it's real. And oh my God, just all hell breaks loose.
It was a bloodbath.
And of course, Dicky, classic Dicky, weasels his way back into the car. Doesn't get shot.
Cry baby.
And then crying and whining. You shot me. You're shooting at me. And Doyle, did you see? I don't know if you noticed. Doyle's just like, hey.
Yeah, he's standing like full out giant target, arms up, going, hey people.
Not phased at all.
Can we all get along?
Yeah, I mean,
just relax.
Exactly. The noise alone would have made me freak out, right?
Fall to the ground instantly.
Yeah, they're just, hey, calm down. Sure enough, goes over. And I love this line, too. This bullet's been 20 years in the making.
Yes.
And I thought, damn, how are they going to get out of this? And, of course, the cavalry arrives. And that shot of the shot.
That was shocking, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What was your initial, who'd you think it was coming from?
I was like, what? I had no idea.
It was shocking.
I had no idea. Yeah, and I, watching it with you, the gap, it's like, whoa. Yeah, just a well composed shot.
Absolutely.
Great filmmaking because they had so many nice angles, but never were they edited very well because nowhere where you didn't know where you were, wasn't interrupted in anything. And just the effect was just visceral and immediate, and it was just wow.
What do you mean?
Exactly. I was just overwhelmed by that. And of course, you hear Art in the background finally showing up, the Cavalry.
Hey, good to see you, Art.
Exactly. And the things he was saying, just get down on the ground. What are these pecker words, kid?
Oh, yeah, that was the great
Can't
one.
understand
Peckerwood,
English?
hillbillies.
Yeah,
that was
get on the
the
ground,
colorful
hillbillies.
language again.
It's like, whoa, Art, all right, tone it down. You live in this area. You work here, my friend. You grew up here, so... Yeah, you Peckerwoods can't understand English. Yeah, and and by the way, the shot was probably taken by Tim. You probably don't know Tim. Tim he is one of the marshals. In a previous episode, way early in the season, Raylan was with Tim, and they were trying to arrest somebody who had a gun, and he was trying to tell somebody, look, you better put down the gun. Raylan was trying to tell the perp, you put down the gun or you're gonna get shot. And he goes, and the perp's saying, oh, you really think you can take me out one shot? And he goes, no, not me, him. And he points to Tim, and Tim has got he's the sharpshooter and never misses. So, when Tim shows up and he has the hat backwards, which is what, the sharpshooters do, they pull the hat backwards so the brim's in the back and everything. Oh, Tim did the shot.
Tim,
he did.
That must be Tim.
Exactly.
Because, boy, that couldn't have been more perfect in his forehead.
It was nicely done.
Well
done. One shot, exactly. So
that's all we need.
Amazing. And of course, Art shows up. Hey, how you doing, Raylan? And it's nice that little moment that kind of assuaged a lot of their trust issues and their anxiety issues. It's one of those unspoken things between the guys.
Between Art and Raylan, you mean?
Art and Raylan, that moment there kind of recapped their relationship and kind of put it back on a better footing and stuff like that because he knew that Raylan needed him and he needed to show up for him and all that kind of stuff. So even though it's the Cavalry coming in at the last minute and all that other stuff and it's formulaic in the sense I didn't care. I think it worked.
It worked.
It surprised the hell out of me. I was not ready for it, and the whole thing worked. And they just handled it and they just went right on with the story. And got right back inside to which is
right because it's unresolved still.
We've got
Mags
still have
shot,
Loretta with a gun.
but Loretta has a gun, and we don't know what's happening.
And we don't know if she's really gonna. And I didn't really think that Loretta was really gonna shoot her. I mean,
kill her.
Even shoot her. I mean more than she already had in the leg.
Yes,
like that.
right.
But that girl did such a good job. And the acting, my God! I mean, just when she said that thing about her dad, and she ran and said, "What would your daddy want you to do?" And she says, "I'd want him to be here to tell me."
Yeah.
I mean, I was heartbreaking. For that girl.
It really was.
And speaking of heartbreaking, Mags was heartbroken for her. It breaks my heart to see you with a gun like this. I really wanted to save you from this, and I honestly believe her. I mean, I think Mags really didn't want her to spend this kind of life.
Right.
And you see her compassion.
I think she was ready at that point when she admitted it. She was dead then. She was.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, she's done. Like even like saying it in front of the cops and, in that respect, but also like her giving that up was just kind of like she had nothing
to
left.
lose. Yeah. And that was even before she had heard or learned that her other boy is dead.
Doyle was dead.
So for you, and for me, it was just like she felt like so important for her to hear this that she's had to say that. So it was important for Loretta to hear it from her.
Yes.
For whatever reason, so she had to say it. So that's why I didn't really take it as anything other than she deserves to know this, and I'm going to give this to her because I care so much for her.
Well, I think it's really interesting that you saw that was the beginning of the end, or really the close to the beginning of the end for Mags, because I didn't see Mags dying. I wasn't really thinking about it. Clearly, because I'm one of those people. I don't like to figure out stories. I like to let them come to me.
Right.
But I think it's really interesting that I've seen a lot of the episodes and I didn't see Mag's death coming.
So
you did.
It was only because she was so calculated, it seemed like, in everything, in all her actions. And on a very basic level, just saying that stuff in front of the cops, I was like, why? Like right away, I was like, why would she give that up in front of the cops?
That's a great.
It got right by me.
Yeah, that was a great pickup. Yeah,
that is good.
I didn't even. The one thing I thought of is like she doesn't have anything to hide anyway because they can't pin it on her. So there's no proof. She could have said, I just said that because I had a gun to my head.
Right.
You know what I mean? So even though she didn't say it that way, but that was my take.
That was what
on
you're.
It. Like, she's got nothing to lose here because they can't pin it on her, and it's under duress. It would never hold up.
Yeah.
In a court, so that's where I went with it.
But and at the same time, also just giving her that information. It seems like I don't know. Maybe she had to because her heart was just so, committed to this girl and like feeling like that. But I don't know. It seems like and maybe I'm wrong about the character, but it seems like she'd just be like, "Honey, I didn't kill your dad." Like no matter what, just that's my story and I'm sticking to it.
Right. Because you could easily see her doing that too.
Sure.
Because she's done that to many people.
Or say that her son had
exactly,
the dead
because she'd
son.
already thrown Coover under the bus.
Yeah,
Coover did it.
Yeah, Coover did it.
So and he's dead. So
yeah.
So,
she could have kept saying that on forever and ever.
But no, she chose
However,
to say that.
She hit her breaking point, it appears.
Exactly. Yes. And so, so Raylan gets Loretta to put the gun down, and that's nice. I mean, I really thought that actress, that young girl, did a great job.
Yeah.
I thought it was really nicely done, and kudos to her and everybody who cast her and directed her and did such a good job at that. So that was nice. And then Raylan has to have a few last words with Mags and let her know that Doyle's dead.
Yeah.
And that look on
Yet another one of your kids is dead, and I was involved.
Exactly. Dicky in custody. And I mean, she doesn't really give up too much in that moment, but it's just like the weight of it. And then when she says, "You want to try, take the pain away,"
take the pain away, and me,
and I'm
yelling,
thinking as soon as
I'm
she's
saying,
"Don't do it!"
Right.
Because we know what that means. We've seen the previous episode, and you got to see the previous episode or that.
No,
moment.
I just right away
Yeah,
the
so
same thing.
he's
I was
like,
like,
"Oh,
"Oh,
do
not drink with," and he says apple pie, and I'm going,
I don't care how good the apple pie is. I do not
drink
care.
The apple pie. And he does, and I'm going, no, how can they do this?
She got a glass from down below and a glass from up above.
Yeah, and I'm going, okay. I mean, but
which was only, I mean, I did register it, but I did register it the first time.
Exactly.
She went low and then went high, and I was like, what?
And unless you had seen the other episodes or had known what she had done to Loretta's dad, that wouldn't have been a trigger for you in any way. But I was just going, oh my God, are they really going to kill Raylan? No, he's not going to kill him, but they're going to do something to him, so he's going to be in a hospital, so we're not going to
paralyzed.
Lose his dad, And then they had that nice moment they're drinking and stuff like that, and I just thought the ending was just great.
Yeah, the acting was brilliant in that scene.
Acting,
totally
writing,
brilliant.
Wonderfully directed. And then the music coming in, and she says, I just love the way she says that. She says, let's end this truce now, when it should have been ended, whatever it is, 50 years ago and stuff. And they said, yeah. And then the look on his face when he realized she's not letting go of his hand, Mags.
And you think for the split second,
for a second,
because he looks stricken.
Yeah, he does. They did a great job of making you just believe in just enough that she really poisoned him.
Oh crap!
Oh, what's gonna happen? And he didn't take a lot of it. So is that gonna be enough to kill him? But they did a great job. For me, anyway, I was just like, I was on the edge of my seat going, oh my God, are they really going to kill this guy? Or are they going to make it close to killing him? Or, did they not get picked up? They did get picked up, so they can't kill him. So, and then of course, when you realize that she's the one who took it.
Did the same
I love
thing.
the line, the way
Nothing
she did.
that I didn't do to
Loretta's
daddy.
Loretta's daddy. And that smile she has on her face when she says that. Oh my God, that weird smile. And then she says, and then when she says, this is the
hardest part.
Which is what you said to Loretta's dad.
Yeah.
This is the hard part. And you're just going, oh, damn, I can't. She did it. She did it. And like you said, she's cold and calculating. Or you didn't say she's cold. She's calculating. And she calculated as soon as she heard that Dicky was dead, or maybe even sooner. Excuse me, as soon as she heard that Doyle was dead.
Yeah.
She had decided, okay, that's it. And it's interesting that she decided to bring Raylan into it, because she could have done it all on her own. Because she invites him to come in to have a drink. It's just, I just find that interesting, and again, that's part of the calculation. I think she wanted to put the feud to rest with him,
right?
And it's just interesting that she invited him in to bear witness to this.
Well, and how will that affect? Because he still is going to have a relationship with Dicky. Dicky's the one Bennett left.
Yeah, unless I'm sure he's probably gonna. Well, I can't see how he's not gonna go away.
No, but I mean, but
there's still gonna be some sort of relationship.
Let's hope for Jeremy's sake that
exactly.
Dicky continues to be.
Exactly, he did such a good job. He deserves to come back.
But then if she says let's end this feud, does that clean up?
It would for Raylan, but not for Dicky. He already has gone against Mama when she's said.
That's true.
That's true. I wouldn't think that. I just find that fascinating that she invited him into this and bear witness. What you were going to say?
I was just curious, based on the season, if there was it seemed like it was full closure. Like they could have ended the series, or maybe they had planned to, or something. For you, are there a lot of
let's talk about that after. Let's finish this up, and then we'll go on to the next season. So the last thing is, I just have to talk about the way those last few lines are just great. you know, I get to put an end to my misery, get to see my boys again, and then I get to know the mystery.
Wow.
Just-
and
Yeah.
did
And
you
then the music.
notice
Man, that
she was
music.
wearing a little gold cross that just glinted as she was going through
Get
that?
out,
No
really?
kidding. It was really incredible.
Either that
So
was a
she's
lucky
sitting
shot
there-
or somebody in post went, hey, let's check this out.
I don't know.
Put a
but
little glint
I get
there.
to end my troubles, and then it's sort of like just sort of glints on her neck. And I went, oh my, that was something.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Just and then the music kicked in, and that song and the way they were saying the lyrics. Damn, you'll never leave Harlan alive.
I never leave Harlan County alive.
Yeah, and the look on his face, and just that he, you know, and again, he was probably just wondering himself why he got, why she
Why
brought
he
him
had
in
this
for
audience
exactly.
with
so,
the.
So all right, well that wrapped up that season finale. We'll come
It
right
was-
back for a second. We'll do a commercial first, but fabulous and just exciting. And Ian, just real quick, now that you've seen it once, interested? We'll see it again.
Absolutely.
Fabulous.
I would like to. FX is doing such cool stuff.
Aren't they?
Now that I see, yeah. Now
God
with
bless
this show
FX.
too. Yeah.
Exactly.
Really, the only other than HBO, I think they're the only
Nice.
people. That
Nice.
are
Look at
doing-
that.
Yeah. No, I'm a fan.
All right, well, let's take a commercial break. We'll come back in a second, and then we'll do predictions. And we're doing predictions now. Oh, we're doing predictions first. Let's
Well,
do that.
okay.
AfterBuzz TV.
Well, the obvious.
We'll do our. Is there any more to that? I thought there was more eerie music.
You guys just talked over it though.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry. I did.
We
It
missed
was
the
me. Sorry.
Eerie music. Woo. Okay. Now predictions.
Well, the obvious loose end, like you were talking about, that hasn't been tied up, is Winona and Glencoe.
Yeah, because she says, "Go do your thing, and come back to my office. I just can't guarantee I'm going to be
I'm
there."
not going to guarantee I'll be there.
Again,
so can't
dames,
promise I'll be
trouble.
Here.
So we
Yeah,
don't
but
know
you
if she's
need
gonna,
them.
Yeah, I know.
You need
whatever.
them.
Yeah,
You know you do.
We do. So, and I'm not saying they're not worth the trouble. I'm just saying they are trouble.
Okay.
So
All right.
I didn't say that. So so we don't know if they're actually going to get to go to Glencoe.
I think there is a snowball's chance in hell that they're going to Glencoe.
Okay.
This is my prediction.
It would hurt the drama.
We will still be in Harlan
Yeah, it might be
County.
able to-
Yeah.
it's
Come next
unless he
season, that's
starts
my
killing
prediction.
people on the
Right,
gun
the
range because he
suburbs or
just
that, yeah.
he can't help himself.
Yeah,
or something.
exactly.
So there's that. We also have no idea whether or not Ava's going to survive, and we don't know
True.
if she survives. Well, let's say if she doesn't survive, what's that going to do to Boyd? Is he just going to freak out and go crazy,
Right.
hog wild?
And speaking of Boyd, who's going to be the new boss?
Yeah, because now the Bennetts aren't going to be there. Because by all rights, okay, Mags is gone, Doyle's gone, Dicky's probably going to be in jail. So there's going to be nobody to go up against Boyd. So he's going to have full reign.
And so,
to
right,
take over the county.
what I would like to predict is that it's going to be a mad scramble for power. That it's not definitively going to be Boyd who comes back. I predict that there will be the mad scramble for power, and that's what's going to happen in the beginning
Okay,
of
so
the next season.
we'll learn we'll meet obviously new characters
Yep.
who want to fill the void that the Bennetts have left behind. And that was a
Yes.
huge void.
Yes.
So not only Boyd will want to take over that, but everybody else will.
Yep.
And what we still have, the other thing we have is the people from Miami who still are pissed off at Raylan. They may be coming back into town because they tried to do business up there or something happened. And then,
Well, and again, because there's this vacuum,
yeah, that's right.
that may be a welcome opportunity for them.
So, and we don't know about Loretta and whether or not it's actually going to come to be, or as we had been postulating earlier, whether or not Raylan and Winona are going to, I don't know, adopt her, take care of her. Who knows? I mean, there is that possibility because she has no one else.
Right.
So we'll see that too, and we'll see how that plays out. So, like you said, she's a very good babysitting age.
Yeah,
So.
that's right. It's perfect. They might really need to keep her
Exactly.
around.
And whether or not Raylan will even be in Harlan. I mean, let's face it. I mean, they might transfer him somewhere else. We don't know.
I predict he'll be there.
Yeah. I think so. I mean, the ratings are amazing, so I'm guessing.
Is that true? The
Yes.
ratings are.
Yeah, there's like 4 million, I think. What are they getting? Do you know? 4 million? Yeah. So,
Just
Mad
says
Men's
4.
getting 2.
Is that right?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Mad Men's huge. That's unbelievable.
I know.
I know.
Wow.
Isn't it
Yeah, that
incredible?
blows my mind. Yeah.
And how many people know about it? Not
That's
very
the
many
thing,
people.
I don't-
Everybody's
yeah.
watching it.
Well, you got
not
also
talking
look
about
at it. You got to pay to watch Mad Men to get what is it,
That's a good
Showtime or
point.
HBO? This
No,
is
it's
No.
oh well AMC, but I don't know if that's
is it AMC?
No, AMC. That's
Yeah,
right.
it's on
It is
AMC.
AMC, so it's not a pay. It's
Yeah.
not. It's
It's not a flick through the channel type. Channel.
True. That's true.
It's
Yeah.
up there in the numbers.
So yeah,
That's
but
right.
that's that's what I'm saying. It's the numbers are doing real. I mean, people are watching.
I'm going to do my part. I'm going to start spreading
there
the word.
There you
of
go. It's just that
Justified.
it's just not many. You just don't
Tell
hear
all
about
your
it.
friends.
But
about
everybody
Justified.
I know who's actually seen it is like, they're amazed at the writing, the acting, and they always have these. I mean, all the directors. I don't know. If, I should have had a list of them, but all these people are coming in to direct it. I mean, film directors, TV directors, and they all want to direct the thing.
It's incredibly beautifully shot, like you were saying.
Yeah.
There's no question.
I mean, they had some great shots in this one. There's a couple up shots. She's just getting out of the truck. There's this nice up shot in the church in the background, and the up shot of the in the car and the shootout, and just good stuff. Just good stuff.
We love Justified.
Yeah, nicely
any
made.
Any other predictions? Ian, have you got any?
Yeah. Based on your vast experience.
Yeah?
I'll just throw some. What's this?
Quickly,
We're wrapping it up.
We're wrapping it up.
Predictions. There's definitely Boyd. I think is going to be a big couple seasons arc of a villain.
I hope so. Nice.
So we're going to get new villains. I think and more people to kill off.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us for the
awesome
season 2 finale of Justified. And again, our hearts and prayers go out to Phil and Stuart as they deal with this trying time. And we thank you for listening, and we hope to hear from you soon.
From producers Kevin Undergaro and Phil Svitek, engineer DJ Jesse Janity, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. If you have questions or comments, be sure to buzz us at info@AfterBuzzTV.com. And you can find us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later. See you at the Borgias.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.